Well, good day, guys, and welcome back to Just Winging It. Let's see what we're going to be up to today, or not just today, but our new project we're starting. We're going to give you a little rundown of what we're going to do. Blah! We're going to give you a little rundown of what we're going to do and show you how we're going to do it along the way. So to start with, as you've seen previously, we've got our trailer back from being repaired, and now it's time to go ahead and do the solar and a water system. So I'm going to turn things around here, give you a quick rundown of what I've got done already. I have started a little bit minor stuff, so I'll explain what and why as we go along. So here we go. So this is the old battery compartment that we have taken all the batteries out because we went to lithium. We did that when we were down in the queue. So there was a bunch of wiring up in here from the factory. It was kind of haphazardly done, nothing, you know, particular, nothing fancy, just slapped up there. Well, that's this now. It doesn't tie into the solar, but this project's getting done kind of simultaneously, that I'm doing solar and a water treatment system. I happen to have a water guy that's a good friend of mine, and he had a little softener unit right there. It's just test fitting that will install right there. But first we've taken the panels out and we're going to clean up this big mess from the factory back in behind there, and come around this side so I don't have to move everything and show you a bit of it. So back in here you can see the factory don't care what they do. They just hammer stuff back here, twisted, turn, mess on top of everything, and then they cover it with a panel. Well, we're going to clean some of this up, move some of these water lines a little more square back so I can gain more storage room in here, because there was a big diagonal panel that run from the Nautilus cover here across, and it's wasted a lot of space. So where I stuck my EMS there before, right down there, we're going to move that again out of the way, and that corner is going to become usable space because I'm losing some with my water softener. So I know there's lots of water softeners on the market, and we have friends that have them that you just put outside the unit and hook your hose up to it and softens it and all that. But if you've been watching the videos, you see I do things to try and make it as easy as possible, because, you know, I'll say it, I'm lazy. Not really, but anyways, to make it easy as possible for setup and tear down when we're out camping and stuff like that. So I don't want to have a chance of leaving something behind, or it outside somebody can steal it, you know, in this day and age. So like my EMS, I wired it in solid so I didn't have to worry about leaving it on the pedestal. The water softener is going to be no different. So we are putting in a residential style softener that we do not have to take out and put in. I'm carrying it anyways, so I might as well have it permanently installed in the rig. So that's what's going to happen here. We're going to have that residential style softener. It's a mini one that was technically for a cottage, and unfortunately they can't get them anymore. So this is kind of the one and only experimental setup for RV. but also it's going to go through a mounted filter and a UV light. So for the most part, we're not going to have to worry about our water wherever we are. And I noticed last year in the queue, the water was not the best. So hence back to the battery compartment. Here is got everything cleaned out of it and moved. I'm going to remove this shelf and box this unit in here. And this is where our UV and our filter will go, so that we maximize our use of space in this rig, because we do not have, as you can see, a lot of space. Then our new solar, as you can see, we do have existing solar from the factory. It's only 400 watts. Our new solar setup will be complete Victron. This is going to stay intact as it is, and then our new Victron setup will go, our inverter over there, our big MPPT there, there under that one. Try and keep everything neat and tidy and as compact as possible. The trailer is set up to add solar already from the factory over here, so we don't have to chase wires down. Luckily, there's already wires, 10 gauge wires coming down to add more solar. So what's going on with what we've done? We've moved all the existing stuff from the other side, and we've moved it in over here. We've tried to neaten it up the best we could. We had to work with the existing wiring lengths and stuff that were already pre-wired into the trailer, but I think it cleaned up pretty decent. I've added a little fuse panel there for my underglow lights and my repeater for my TPMS, and anything else, small 12 volt loads that we want to take from it in the future. We have room to put it into the fuse panel and fuse it right here, all in one nice convenient spot. We have as well, we have 4 280 amp hour lithium batteries that will store in this compartment as well when we are done. So that's a quick rundown on what we've got going on. And the other part of it is our solar. Hey, Barbie.
Hi.
You can tell it's Barbie. She's got her name on her shirt because she can't remember it half the time.
In case I get lost.
Yeah. So our solar panels, there's one. Our solar panels are going to be mounted on an aluminum frame, which is this aluminum here. It's all pre-cut and ready to weld together. I know a lot of people are gonna go, well, why go to all that expense? Turn you back around here so you can see me talking to you. Why would you go to all that expense and time to make frames when they make perfectly good little Z brackets that they can mount down with? Well, there's a reason. And that reason is that when I originally decided I was going to put solar on the roof, I wanted to be able to tilt them. I know there's an argument for, there's an argument against. Some say you're over panel, you don't need to tilt. Some say regardless, you get more solar collection tilted. That is kind of a fact. Don't matter. I just wanted the option. Well, why don't you use Z brackets and bars that you can just go up and a couple wing nuts, tilt them? Well, again, let's get back to the fact that I'm lazy, remember? I was going to make, and I may still, so I'm going to pre-stage it. That I want to be able to have my panels on a frame that I can push a button from the ground and actuate the actuators and tilt the panels. That's not so much lazy as just safety. I don't want to have to keep climbing up and down on the roof of the trailer for no reason. Places where you're in, say, quartzite, where the wind can whip up in an instant and be sustained at, you know, crazy for a while. I want to be able to put the panels down fairly quickly. So actuators allow me to do that. In order to make that system work, I need a frame mounted solid to the trailer, and then I need to have a frame that the panels are on that the actuator works. So for this year, I don't have the time with everything else we got going on to turn around and make the complete setup. So for starters, this year we're going to have flat mounted panels. We are going to mount them, make the frames, make the base frames, and we're going to mount them to the trailer. Then we're going to try it. And if it works fine flat mounted and we have no problem with our solar keeping up when we're down in the queue and the sun's low, we get enough charge with the system. We're going to have total about 2,300 watts of panels, 1,100 amp hours of batteries. We'll see how it works. So if that does not produce quite enough and keep up with the demand that we have, then next year I will turn around when we come back and I will make the second frame. And with that second frame, we will add the actuators and power it. So from the ground, we can power our solar panels and tilt them at will. So this is why we're going a little bit extra step and using the aluminum tube to make our panel frames. One problem: never welded aluminum before. My nephew's never welded aluminum before. So we're learning together. We've got some practice pieces. We're going to practice. I've tried it a little bit already. It's not neat yet, but we can make two pieces stick together. But anyways, we're going to practice some more before we started, hence why they're cut and ready to weld, but they're not welded. And we're going to practice up on the aluminum, and whoever gets it down better is the poor guy that gets to do all the welding. But anyways, till we get a little further into it, because this is going to be a long dragged out video, obviously, unless I do it in 2 or 3 parts, which I might have to keep your interest, and try and divide the water setup and the solar setup into 2-part videos. But it's kind of all being done semi-simultaneously because we've had to move stuff around in order to make it work for both projects. So without any more wasting your time, we're going to get at her. Okay, a little bit what we've done so far. We've just got started. We've cut out the old battery tray in here, bits and pieces. We're going to plate it and make room for our water filter and water UV light. We got to clean her up and plate her. Okay guys, we've got a little bit more done on here. We've trimmed out the battery trays. We have boxed it in and sealed it up. So now we just got to do a little bit of paint that we don't have, of course. So we will get a little bit of paint and we will paint her up, and then we get a hold of the water guy and he will figure out exactly how this UV and filter is going to fit in here and which way it's got to be plumbed, and we'll mount her all up then. So this is what we ended up with. Cut out the tray, cut it back, left a little bit of the tray in there. Once we get it painted, we'll get that noodle further in and sealed so that we keep that. We do have to work around the hydraulic lines a little bit, but they're not going to interfere too bad. So there's our tray. That's what we ended up with. So should make a nice little water compartment for what we want. And you'll see the rest of it when it's together. Okay, we've done a little bit more on this now. We're starting today doing a bit more of the water treatment side of it. There's a bunch of stuff we had to move around, so I'll turn around here and I'll show you our compartment. So we ended up, I cut the battery trays out of here that were in here, and we've reboxed it with some good solid 10 gauge plate, closed up the side here. We made an access panel for the jack. So there's our water UV light, and our filter. We made up a bracket. Oh, get you up close and personal here. Our filter is going to bolt on here. My water guy's on his way, and he's going to start hooking this stuff up. So I didn't bolt this in yet because I want to put fittings in it. And then we'll bolt that on there, and the water will come in to filter, out of the filter, down into the UV, and then it'll go back out of the UV, back in to the trailer. So right now we're prepping the under bay basement. We've took all their compartment dividers out here, and the one that come across on an angle. And we're going to move, I'm going to move my EMS that I put there. We're going to move it back. We're going to reroute some of these water lines and be able to square this compartment off across in front of that water pump right there. We're going to come across and then back this way, which, because the softener is going to sit here, I'm going to lose a bit of space. But by squaring that off up in there, I'm going to gain some of that space back, because originally the wall divider, 2 more panels came down here, and then it went on a diagonal across there to the edge of the Nautilus, back of the Nautilus system. So that whole corner in there basically is wasted space. So we're going to move some water lines around. We're going to move the EMS out of the way, and then we're going to be able to square that off as much as possible and gain some of the space we're losing here for the softener. And then we will end up mounting all our solar stuff over here. So when we get a little further along, I'm not gonna video the process of doing it all, because I just have to edit it way down anyways. Through the magic of video, you're gonna see it start just taking shape. Okay, so until we get a little further, that'll be all. Okay, we moved around a little bit further along. We have our trusted water guy here. Say hi, Carl.
Hi, Carl.
That's Carl from Carl's Water Treatment. And no swearing, guys. We have moved our stuff along in here now and got a little bit more room with the plumbing. And right now we're working on getting the plumbing softener plumbed in. Our top-notch water guy is working on the UV and everything else in there right now. And before you know it, we'll have perfectly clean, fresh, soft water. Yeah. Okay. Looks like we've got things more or less connected in here. We got our little monkey in there that's... Ah! Careful! So there's the softener unit. Our drains, our water lines we've had to rerun. Our top-notch plumbing guy here going to tell us if it's going to work or not.
That's making more sense. Water to here.
The right way around now?
Well, it seems to be, because I got this off. It can't be coming from where it was before.
No. So I shouldn't have...
hooked back up to the same one?
I shouldn't have water in the trailer then, until you turn that on.
Right.
So now I should have water in the trailer.
Right.
Okay, well, let's go look. No what?
I don't know.
Well, don't say no then if you don't know. Oh, kids these days. Okay, let's see what's going on. Oh, look at that. We got water in the trailer. Spit and sputter a little bit of air through. All right. Oh, a lot of air through. Stands to reason. Okay. Okay, we have water in the trailer.
That's good. Well, that's a bonus.
That's a bonus. No leaky Tabor? Huh? Do we have water, any leaks or not?
No, you're all good.
Okay. No leaks. That's the upside. And look at that. It's beautiful. And I don't just mean Carl. So UV, filter, water softener, completely self-contained unit. We're going to have a salt trays just like a regular home unit. It'll regen, it'll do everything automatically on its own. So perfect. That's one. Okay, so next part of the next part of this little project, getting our water bay and softener and all that done, is we've moved all that stuff, as I mentioned before, in behind to gain some more room. And now we're just making up a couple new panels to close it all back in again in the garage underbelly compartment. So basically all we're doing is we put the existing panels we had back in, and because we're not going off on an angle like it was, we're squaring it off and gaining a bit of room. We just taking and making some new panels, which is very basic, nothing fancy. We got this felt, Taryn. So we went and got some of this felt like they have used in there. Now mind you, it's not exactly the same color, but there's a roll of it. And we've cut our board. We're cutting our boards to fit in there, test fit them, and then we're just simply wrapping them with the felt, spraying with some good old Gorilla Glue adhesive and a stapler on the back side, and that's all there is to that. So we'll show you the end result of that when we're done. Okay guys, we're back here at the trailer, as you can see, and we've got our panels and everything made and put back in and squared off. So now you can see how much room we gained, because that used to come across on an angle with that drain pipe up there. It's all that corner was totally wasted space, and by putting the softener in here we need to gain some space. We didn't move the softener all the way back because we got to be able to add salt and stuff with it, so it had to move up here where it is. But anyways, we modified the side panel there and put it all back in, the original panel back in, just cut down to fit. You can see our new panels that we had to make. Of course our felt's a little lighter, but you know, that's okay. So anybody that's got a 429 Fusion, the one complaint here of course is there's not enough room in the basement. Let me turn you around. The complaint is there's not enough basement space in these 429s. That was my definite number one complaint here. There's nowhere to store anything. So if you got a 429, and even if you're not putting in a softener, you take out those inside panels, and if you've got the ability to reroute your water lines, they've got them just looped all over. If you cut them, put elbows in them, square them off across the top of the water pump towards the stairs, and bring them back and join them back in again, and then simply untangle them from the wires and the pump gate valve cables, then you're able to turn around and push the panels all back square, and you can gain a fair little bit of space. I know, you know, it doesn't seem huge in the big picture, but in this thing it's a lot of extra room that it will give you. Especially if it didn't have that softener there, we would probably gain somewhere's around 2 feet back and 20 inches over. So it's a fair big chunk of space you can gain by doing a little bit of work. So till we carry on now with our solar, the water system is in place, the panels are put back, so now it's time to start mounting solar stuff and controls and solar panels and frames and stuff like that. Okay, till we get there. That's all.